Hi everyone, my name is Omar and welcome back to the Deeboss way. So before we get into the video, all I want you to do is one thing. I want you to think about a goal that you really want to achieve. And then throughout the conversation we'll be having, I want you to try to see what you can use from the things that I'll be sharing to help you achieve that goal that you want. And maybe not everything is gonna work, but see what you can take away and see how you can mold it into your own style and see how that works for you. Got the goal? Great, let's deep dive into the video. Now in early 2020, I decided I wanted to learn French, and we had this program at the university called the Language Tandem Program. And in this program, it was like people that were interested in language learning in general. So you had people that had learned languages, people that wanted to teach languages, just a bunch of cool people that were interested in languages. And now I went to that program and I went and asked the people that had already learned a language on their own, what did you guys do to learn your language? And then most of them told me we used Duolingo to start off. And everyone was like, Duolingo, Duolingo, Duolingo. And for those of you that don't know, Duolingo is this application that helps you learn languages. So I told myself, well, all these people use Duolingo and it helped them learn the language. So I'm going to go home and I'm going to download Duolingo and I'm going to practice on Duolingo every day. So then I went home, opened the App Store, downloaded Duolingo, and I told myself this. I was like, well, if all these people that learned languages use Duolingo to learn a language, if I use Duolingo, I'm also going to learn the language. But that obviously wasn't the case because there is no one right way to do things. When I would go on Duolingo, it felt like an absolute chore. Every time I opened that application, I just hated the idea of language learning. And then I went and asked other people, what did you guys do? And then they told me they used flashcards on Quizlet. And again, Quizlet's an application that helps you create flashcards. So I went and I created these flashcards and the exact same feeling I had with Duolingo came. It felt like a chore. So then I started thinking, well, maybe I just don't enjoy language learning because there's one right way to learn a language, which clearly isn't the case. So then I decided to ask myself a different question. Rather than asking what's the right way to learn a language, I started asking myself, what's the Deeboss way to learn a language? In other words, what's your way of wanting to learn a language? And then after experimenting with so many different techniques, I found that what worked for me was like putting sticky notes all over the walls, or like journaling in French, or talking to myself in French before going to sleep, or also watching TV shows for kids in French, because that's how kids learn languages. And I started finding the things that worked for me. And now that's exactly what I want you to do with the goal that you want to achieve. Maybe your goal is that, I don't know, you want to start reading more books. The question isn't what are the right books to read. The question is, what are the books that you enjoy reading? What are the books that work for you? Like I always thought that the only useful books to read were self-help books. And now obviously that's not the case. There's no right book to read. There's no right way to read books. Like some people might advise you, well, read 10 pages a day. Some people might tell you read a chapter a day. Some people might tell you read these types of books. There's no right way to read. There's just your own way of reading, the way that you enjoy. So find what works for you. There's no right way to do things. There's different ways that work for different people. So the question isn't what's the right thing to do. The question is, what will work for me? And how do you find that out? You find that out through trying many different things. And now another thing that really helped me out was for my half marathon training. I went and asked different people that had already run a half marathon, what did you guys do for your training plans? So for example, I went to talk to person X and person Y, and person X gave me a plan and person Y gave me a completely different plan. And now what I did was this, I took what I liked from person X's plan, I took what I liked from person Y's plan, and then I made Omar's plan. And now you can do something so similar. So let's say, for example, you want to learn, I don't know, give me a skill. Let's use the same example of wanting to learn a language because I can't think of something now. And what you can do is this, you can ask people like, okay, what did you do to learn a language? And then they'll give you these like steps of what they did. And then you can ask someone else, well, what did you do to learn a language? And then they'll give you different steps. And then take the steps you like from this person and the other person, and then you'll make your own steps. So it's so valuable to go ask people that have achieved things that you want, like, what did you guys do? But it doesn't mean if someone did something that you need to follow it to the dot. Take what you like from this person's plan and that person's plan and this person's plan and that person's plan, and then make your own plan. And then you'll have a super plan because you'll be enjoying what you're doing and you'll be achieving your goals. And listen, I'm not telling you that you're gonna enjoy every single second of the process. Of course, there are times when I'm on a run and I'm absolutely not having it. It's so cold, my legs hurting, I wanna be under the bed sheets. Of course, there are times when I'm watching my French TV show and I'm like, I don't wanna watch a French TV show, I wanna watch an English TV show. But maybe out of the 10 times that I'll go on a run, or out of the 10 times that I'll watch a TV show, I'll feel this once or twice. And that's what I want you to try to aim at. Try to limit the amount of times you find yourself dreading to do a task. And you know how you can do that? When you start to learn how to find your own way. Because with your own way, you'll be looking forward to doing the task. At least most of the times. So you know how this channel is called the Deeboss way? I want you to find your own way. And now you might be thinking, how do I find my own way? Start by shifting the question from what's the right way to do something to what's my way of doing something. And now how do you find your way of doing something? You go out and you try new things. Maybe you talk to person A and you take 10% of their method. You talk to person B, you take 20% of his method. You talk to your friends and family, they give you 30%. And then you have your own 50%. And then you create your own way. And then you have an enjoyable, fun way to help you achieve your goals. Of course, like I said before, there will be times when you're not enjoying it so much, but we want to minimize those times. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. And I hope I've given you something to think about. And I really hope to see you soon. Peace.